was here where I seen her for the first time. It was here in Myra-Bellevue Park, Kelowna, British Columbia. One kiss, one smile, one chance. One night, one laugh, one dance. One touch, one smell, one glance. One love, one fate, romance. It's like I knew at first glance that you were the one.
The geotag concept was thought up in a conversation between myself and Jennifer Pickering, and she asked me to do, as they have done in the past here with Alternator, a off-site or a public installation of some kind associated with the gallery installation, essentially an off-site component of some kind. And the idea of a geotag came to mind, whereas you could scan a digital code on that would be put on a placard near anything out on the street. You could scan that with your smartphone, and it could bring you to a website, it could bring you to images or a video that is in association with whatever you like, with this piece or with Alternator or with my website or whatever information you want to exchange. The piece is designed to be so a viewer could imagine this sort of topographical figure, again, this geographical structure, this mountain being extracted and just toured around, just for the sake of, you know, interest or amusement, right? So it's again another sort of a facetious approach to mountaintop removal, but it is definitely hopefully it'll just make you wonder, I think. So.
White Haskell called Isqueest Colchana, Isansma Isqueest Victoria Baptiste, Kentil Sukana Kane, Kentil St. Pinkin, Kentil Piatsula, and Chakan Siu. The geotag project that I have is called Kinskich. I am here, and Kinskich is an Okanagan word that says I'm here, I have arrived, and the project is like a 5-minute short film, a narrative short, where I'm working with my daughter Alexis Taylor, and it's a message about how we as Indigenous people are here. We have these different stories and different sites and different practices that we still utilize today, and it's like, the reason I created it was actually because I get agitated when people talk about how we can't go back to the way that we used to be. You hear it a lot, like, oh, we can't go back to the way we used to be, we can't do this, we can't do that. And that's totally not true, because there are people who do, who are still like that, and we are still here, and we are still picking berries, digging, whatever, using these different sites. So I use 3 different sites, I believe, where I show different sites, Okanagan cultural sites, in my video talking about how we're still here. So when I first started getting into multimedia and going to these different sites or going to these different areas, because I follow my dad around with my video camera, and I do and like where he does interpretive tours of certain areas, We do that because there are people like who aren't physically capable of going over there because of their own health constraints, and they're not able to go to certain locations. And just because they aren't able to physically go to those locations, I don't believe that they should be missing out on some of the things that they need to know, because it's not just the story behind that spot, it's the teaching behind that spot that teaches us something that we need to know for our everyday lives.
What it was originally that we wanted to tell a story between pre-inhabitants to First Nations to European settlers to a potential projected future, and it dawned on me that I think we were being a little bit too literal. So we ended up discussing kind of working a little bit more with the medium, and the medium being, you know, we have this variable of a QR tag, we have this variable of like the map, we have this sort of variable, the fact that we're doing just a one-off performance. And in conjunction, I wanted to do something a little bit more interesting. I put forward the idea of more of a concept of erosion. Erosion being the idea that we age, we have offspring, but even our great-grandchildren forget about us.
So we tossed around ideas of playing music of the theme of that time. And then talked about playing music from different cultures or trying to include like a sound or a tone, and then break it into the movements, break it into like these sections which could be listened to like chapters of a book that would sort of tell the story. And I think the recording process was a real practice in listening and collaborating. We hadn't heard what each other was going to be bringing with that in terms of skill or even so much prearranged, ideas. And I think it was very spontaneous, creative, and exciting.
At some point in the performance on July 18th, there's going to be data encoded into the performance during silent part that it's actually going to lead to a time capsule somewhere around the site, but quite removed. Like it could take half an hour to get to it. It could be right under your nose, and I'm quite content if it's found right away. That's great. But if it's found many years from now, and if what's in the time capsule survives the elements, I'd be happy. And a student found it, or somebody developing a house on the property, what have you. I hope they learn from that experience. They learn about us.
My name is Levi George. I'm from the Okanagan Territory, the Syilx Nation in Penticton, British Columbia. And I'm Okanagan descendant and partly European, which would be German and Hungarian. And my Indian name is Sinclip, which means coyote, and that's the name it's my spiritual name I like to go by most of the time. I took a hike in both up in the Myra Canyon and by the trestles and everything on the trails, and then I also took a hike in the walking trails and the mountain biking trails around there, and I took a lot of photos, photography and everything. And I think I liked the Myra Canyon area, but I really enjoyed the hiking trails, and I took a lot of photography there. Well, I wanted to set the checkpoint in the beginning of those hiking trails. When they see that, when they come into there, it'll pop up in their head and they'll have more of enlightenment to all the different landscape growth and everything there. So it's not just a walk in the park. It'll be like, oh, that was on the canvas, or oh, look at those trees. I could see what the artist was was trying to project. So I'm trying to really get the viewer to really see the what I seen, I guess. Because to me, anytime I walk anywhere, it's not just, oh, it's a nice day. Like, I'm always fascinated by everything natural, like especially what's growing or any type of wildlife. So I'm trying to get them to get that feeling. When they see it with their own eyes, they can have that same thought. Keep a lookout for my artwork, and I guess some of my work can be found on the Naukin website. And yeah, just keep a lookout because I'm just getting started.
Okay, we have some bikes behind us. It's natural. It's supposed to happen this way. I want to sing Ride with Gary Oker. They're behind us, the bikes. We're blessed with these bikes. Bikes, you can't see them, but you can feel these bikes as they go by, and this is in real time right now. Enjoy your ride, enjoy your journey in life, because you only have one life and one ride. So enjoy it and be firm and know your focus. Woo! Okay, that's how you enjoy life. Be on your ride, stay on your seat, look straight forward, and be happy, be alive, because you only have one life to live. So enjoy the journey and enjoy the ride. Yeah! It's time to seal up, everybody, because we're gonna have some fun, we're gonna explore, we're gonna be who we are today, now, in real time. Thank you. White Limlimt.